Yo, YouTube family, what it do? It's your boy D Right Cut, whatever you want to call me. Just keep it player like my boy Mr. P over here, Perseus. We call him Mr. Pimpin' Pete. That boy is too cool for school. So today, guys, we got a low taper on the sides, taper on the back. He's keeping like the low kind of fro look, but no sponge. So I'm going to go in there using three guards today, guys. My 1.5, my one, and my half, and then no guard. So first we're gonna go in there and we're gonna kind of just debulk and bring it all to one level, starting at the 1.5 length, and then we're gonna go from open to close there, okay? His mom walks in the building, Miss P in the building. I ain't disclosing too much information because some people just be weird. So back to the haircut. I'm working my way through my motions. As I always say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So that's how we're gonna rock. So for those that don't know, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Here I'm using the level 3 spray. It's a holding spray. Now we're gonna go into our lining of the nape. I'm gonna use technical terms in this YouTube video. This might be one of my last videos in Dallas. I might do another video, but you gotta tune in to know more. So working through the ways of the haircut, I'm using my Babyliss FX. So I'm holding the ear down with my pointer finger. Using the tip of the blade, I'm working my way around his ear. Not too high, not too low, keeping everything at a good level's length. You kind of want it right above his ear. So doing that, it gives the essential look that you want. Um, and that's what you kind of want when your client, you're cutting. For all you young barbers, new barbers entering the game, learning, you can always get better. Always critique yourself and better your craft. Get better and better and better. Pay attention to the details. Cross your T's and dot your I's. So to the other side, what we do to one side, we do to the other side. Like I always say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Using our Babyliss trimmers, and I have two different pairs. One has the chameleon blade, one has the black graphite blade. But then we're gonna bald out the bottom of that taper. Doing so when we start going through the works of this tapered fade on the side, it creates the look that we want. You want a good essential clean taper when you're done with your cut. You want it all to come into one. You want it all to blend into one. And that's essentially what we're going for. In a sense, that makes things a lot better. It gives you the look that you want, and your client is happy overall. I've been doing this a long time. Like I always tell people, if you do what your client asks, you'll never have to worry about it. For me, I just been doing this so long. As parts of the game as pros and cons, I love the art of cutting hair, the way it makes people look and the way it makes people feel from start to finish, even my haircuts. But I'm tired, I'm drained. Dealing with people is a whole other ball game. I was doing vending machines, I was breeding dogs, I was cutting hair, doing all this at a high level. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But sometimes things have to change, and you got to be the one to change it. But back into this cut, guys. We're gonna continue to go through with this 1.5. We're going closed right now with the grain, kind of laying everything down. As you see, I hold his ear down to make sure we get that weight underneath there. And we kind of continue to burst that taper out. Now that taper is gonna stay right above his ear, but like within the alignment of his eyebrow and to where his C cup is almost connecting to the end of the eyebrow. So using my one now, we're gonna use the tip of that blade and we're kind of just gonna blend right below where we were blending out with that 1.5, creating a blended look but debulking at the same time. Now those are key points when you're doing a fade, a taper, is making sure you debulk. That will essentially have the haircut develop and transition from dark to light and light to dark. Um, you want that contrast. That's key because that's the thing that people are looking for in the haircut is the details. The details do matter the most. You got to pay attention to the details. If you do that, it will essentially be able to have you increase your level and your pricing of what you want to charge as a barber. I've made, you know, $300 off a haircut, $400 off a haircut. I've made $100 off a haircut. I've made $50 off a haircut. I started at 25 and I worked my way up. Um, and sometimes I've gotten, even on a regular basis from regular clients, anywhere from 60 to $80 for a haircut. So you can charge what you want if your skill set matches that. The key part is that you just understand that you have to align with what you're asking for. It's like the NFL. The guys want XYZ money. As long as he's putting up XYZ stats and numbers, he can obtain that money. So what I'm telling you guys is throughout your career, work yourself to be better, really focus in on the details. So we're still bursting our way out through this taper. I'm cleaning my clippers right now. I kind of spray them off in between sometimes just to make sure they don't overheat, keep them cool, especially my babblers right here. These are like my favorite babies. I'm sure if you watch other videos or if you're a returning subscriber, you've seen these and then now you know that those are my babies, but they have really lightweight use. They're not loud and they blend very well. So now I'm using no guard. I'm using the tip of that blade. I'm blending at the bottom of that taper. I'm really combing out the dead hairs now to see, as you can see, that taper is really starting to transition. But we're going to have to go back through with a 1.5 and a 1. And we're going to kind of work out that heavy weight so that everything blends. You don't want it to look like it's just like a mountain of hair above it. So in doing so, again, it creates the transition for the fade that you want. That is the key point that we're doing this for. So you see, I'm using my 1.5 now. I'm pulling this ear down. I'm getting that weight out there and it's disappearing. It's fading out. But I'm fading a certain way with the hair so that it cleans out the way. And you see, look at that taper. You can see it just really transitioning and coming into one. That's what you want, guys. That's the key part of what you want. It's just making sure that overall that this fade continues and continues and continues to transition into a clean haircut. I've been all over. People wear their hair different types of ways, but I've always understood if you can give them what their desired look is in their mind, if you can picture that and do it to the T, you'll never have an issue. So fading out that taper, as we go through the haircut, we just transitioning and I'm paying attention to the little things. When I really have time and I'm just taking my time, I really will critique my own work. I'll look at it because I always tell people, I cut people's hair, I cut my own hair. Now look at that taper, guys. Look how its transition is flowing. Everything is in one. So I'm glad you're able to see that angle because you can look at it from a distance, even a camera angle, and see how it's finished. It's a finished quality look. That is what we want. That's what you're aiming for. All right, so what I did to the other side, I'm gonna do to this side as far as the nape and lining up the nape. Sprayed it with the level 3. I'm gonna go back through with my Babyliss FX. Now watch how I switch trimmers here because one has a chameleon and one has a graphite black. But this graphite black hits hard with that level 3 spray. It's got the right amount of RPMs on the motor to hit at the level, so it's gonna be crispy. But I'm using now. I'm dominant hand right-handed, so now I have a better feel, even better feel than I had before, which is not a bad feel at all. But now I'm using my left hand and I'm holding the ear down and I'm working my way around that nape, starting from the bottom. You kind of connect the dots. So you do one part, then you do the other. Same with the C cups. Is once you kind of get that feel, you just roll it around. But I'm using my pointer finger on my left hand, not on my dominant hand, my cutting hand, my left hand because it gives me a little bit more freedom. And I'm working my way around his ear. Then you use the other side, the tip of the blade, using the tip of the blade, you connect it. Once you do those things, I promise you, it makes it so much easier. And the goal or the desired look that you're trying to obtain for your client is easy to obtain and it's easy to finish. Ultimately, what I say to people is once you create a blueprint, you take little grains of salt from people that you've learned from. And I've been learning from so many barbers over the years and I've gotten so much knowledge and I've been to so many different conventions and barber shows and pretty much I took everybody's sauce and I put it into one bucket and I created who I am today as a barber. and that's the quality look. So now we've gotten into the nape of the haircut, the full nape, the back of the head. We're gonna do a taper here, just how I did it with the tapers on the sides. So we gotta debulk. His hair is very dark. So using the 1.5, we're gonna start to debulk. We're gonna go open, midway, then close. And as you can see, I'm moving kind of fast through this, but you kind of get the angle from your angle so you can see the transition. So when you see the finished look, you'll see it. Working our way down now from the open with the 1.5, we're gonna go midway close, and we're gonna kind of just lay the hair down. Now I've switched to my 1, and I'm gonna do the same thing. So it's repetitive sometimes. I know it seems it's repetitive, but if you get it down, you can create these desired looks. And I'll tell anybody any day of the week, like there's a lot of good barbers, but I know that I'm one hell of a barber, and that's for certain. I'm good at what I do. So look at that taper on the back. It's already transitioning into a beautiful, well blended haircut. Now that's what we're looking for. We're not going crazy. We're not doing anything out of the norm. We're just looking for a well blended haircut. So now you guys get a back angle of that blend, and look at the blend. I'm just telling you, like, it just flows, you know. Um, right there in the back of his nape, there's a little heavy spot. Um, I'm gonna go back through with the 1.5, and I'm gonna just take that down some more and blend it in. And in doing such and doing so, it just helps the back of that taper just blend even better. Now looking at that, I want you guys to just really look how well blended it is. That's a killer blend. And like I always tell you, after every stroke with the clipper, you're killing hair, you're cutting hair. It's dead hair. Comb it out, get out the way. Now look at that. Look how it just blends more. And so it's just becoming a really good blend. And that's what we're going for. Really good, well blended taper on the back. So now we're gonna kind of just fine tune a little things. I'm just doing my usual where I'm just checking things as before I work my way into the next step of this haircut, because I am getting to the end, but I want to just cross my T's and dot my I's. I cannot stress that enough. So details do matter. But so we're gonna take my Fabulous Low FX, and we're going to just detail that out a little bit more. Kill all those dead hairs at the bottom, all those loose hairs, and we're kind of create that transition from light to dark, which gives that taper the bomb look that you're seeing now. I really, really, really was impressed with how this haircut came out. More importantly, I think that was because I just know that um, I'm phasing into a different phase in my life, and things are ultimately going to be a lot, you know, not different, but better for me because I've just been doing this so long, and that I do love it, but you grow in a sense. So as we work our way, you know, through this haircut, we're going to get into the hairline. And this is kind of like, it's kind of the hard part, but it's not the hard part, y'all. Like, it's pretty easy. But, you know, as I always say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So we're gonna start in the middle. As I always say, you either go left or you go right. Whichever way you choose to go, you go the exact same way, but the opposite. So we're working our way right. I'm gonna work my way left next. But as I work my way right, just pay attention to how I really focus in. Now I'm turning the chair. I'm getting the right lighting. I'm telling my client to relax his face, because those things make a difference. Um, Little blooper with my guy P, Mr. Pimpin' P. Um, so yeah, I'm working through this fade, this transition of this lineup, of this haircut, and we're kind of just bringing everything together. Now I'm taking my time. I'm steadily combing. I'm turning his head. These things are for my comfortability. Maybe not comfortable for the client, but my comfortability so that I can achieve the desired look that my client is going for. He was doing a fade for a minute, so we switched it to the taper on this cut, and you know, he loved it, man. He loved it in a sense, but just pay attention to how I pull the skin tight when I'm doing the lineup. I'm really paying attention to the details. You can see that lineup coming together, and this is all natural. I did use the level 3 holding spray, guys, so that works for me. I also like OG Walker's glass, but this time I use the level 3. Now watch how I do the C cups. Watch the wrist. Watch the wrist. All right, cool. We got it connected to the top. And now we're going to jump back into it, and we're going to connect the top to the bottom, okay? Using the wrist, having a little flex within your wrist, and then transitioning to the other side of the blade using the tip of the blade. You can do that, you're going to win every single time. And let me tell you guys, every single time, you cannot fail. So I finished the right side. What I do to one side, I'm going to do to the other. So detailing it, then I'm going to work my way back to the left, cross my T's, and dot my I's. These are the things that you gotta pay attention to. I'm telling you now. You do that, you'll never fail. Never, ever fail. Um, and it's crazy because I can cut hair, man. I really, truly can. I can cut my ass off. I am one hell of a barber. And I really just started to understand when I was just cutting my own hair the way I've been cutting my own hair. I got a YouTube video on that one. Check it out. But I'm working my way back to my left. Okay, left is my weak side, guys. So pay attention to how I go about it. As you can see, his hairline is a little thin in certain areas, but I'm turning it to you so you can see I'm keeping my hand level as I work my way around. Using the ash line and using my reference to one side, I'm following the guideline. Now, on the top of this vertical bar, I'm going to start from the top and work my way down. You can see the ash as it transitions. You can see everything kind of connect. Now, we want that to be up and perpendicular and vertical. You want everything to look the part. It's got to be boxed in, okay? So that's what we're going for, is a boxed in look to match the other side. As long as we try to match the C cups. And our goal is to match the C cups. But as you see, I'm combing the dead hairs out, guys. So I want to make sure I get everything how it is. That's the key part. So making sure you do that. If you do that, you will never, ever have an issue. Comb your dead hairs, comb the hair, okay? We're gonna match the C cups. A lot of times they usually won't match, so you're gonna have to match one side to the other. You kind of do that before the haircut and just see which side is longer, and you kind of try to match them up to the T best you can. It's gonna seem hard at first, but once you kind of get a gist to it, you'll see. I'm using the tip of that blade to go with that C cup. I started with the blade and I worked my way around, and then I used the end of the other blade to connect it to the other side. You do that, get a flow of motion with it, and kind of connect those dots. You will never, ever fail. So, okay, guys, so working to the finished look of this haircut, I've added a little bit of enhancements. I left that off. I didn't really get a clip of that one. But you guys see what we're working with. As you can see on that left side where I hit it with the enhancements, I kind of filled it in and give it a more filled look. And so now I'm going back through, crossing my T's and dotting my I's, and I'm really cleaning that hairline up from where I put the enhancements. That's key part too, especially when you're applying enhancements, because I see a lot of barbers applying enhancements, but they're not detailing. You don't want to leave their face full of the black spray, whether you're using a liquid or a powder form. You don't want to do that. It's just not a good look. Try to clean it up as best you can. Go back through, check your details out, pay attention to when you're doing things, making sure that everything's aligned. So I'm just kind of cleaning it up, tapping that hairline, getting all the dead hairs out the way, but I'm being real precise with it, real slow. Um, so therefore it makes a better look for how I'm trying to go about it. And for me, honestly, it just it gives it the good look that you want. And so I'm working my way again from that right to my left. You can see, um, it's all coming together. So I'm jamming real quick. I'm pretty sure I was listening to some '90s R&B. So I be getting in that mode sometimes where I just be vibing, and that's just me. That's just me doing me, having fun with it. I love it, especially with people like Play a P, Pimp a P in the chair. That boy, he pushing more P than Gunna is. I'm telling y'all, stop playing. Uh, yeah, man, look at that haircut. It's coming together. It's coming together. I'm really tapping in, locking in, kind of cleaning up my details, making sure this haircut is look. You see a little bit of hair right there. Want to clean it up with my trimmers, kind of get it out the way. Um, Essentially, it creates that good look. And for me, this is a really, really good haircut. I always say you probably can do better. You know, there's probably a percentage or millimeter, centimeter that you could do better. But essentially, my client loved the look, and I made sure that I detail my cut. So as you can see, I'm detailing that C cup. I'm telling you, man, if you guys get that, relax. Okay, so nearing the end of this haircut, you guys are gonna see it from a laid back angle where I'm just gonna use the razor and kind of just clean up everything, make it a little bit more crisp, a little bit more detail. As you can see, I'm pulling the skin opposite way, and I'm just kind of just cleaning up out under that, getting the hairs out the way, making it a lot more crisp. And that the ash line from the dryness, from how crispy it is, basically is just giving it a little bit more signal to it. I'm defining those lines within that arch. As you can see, I always clean up the extraness. And once you do that, it kind of just makes that haircut pop. Now, I know my hand's in the way right now. Give it a couple seconds, it'll be out the way. But listen, once you do that, boom, you know, simple as it is. We have our finished look here from my guy Perseus, Mr. Pimpin' P. We got a taper on the side with the C cups, guys. Taper on the back. I'm hitting it with my shears now, just fine lining and detailing that cut. I'm gonna give it a spin through so you guys can see. But that boy is pushing P, like Gunna said. Real P, real player. Now look at that. Look at that. Bam. Bam. Let me know what you guys think. Seriously, I do appreciate the feedback. I will do my best to post more haircuts along the way and continue to try to be consistent. It ain't easy, but hey, anything worth working for is gonna be work. Nothing worth working for is gonna be easy. So, with that being said, like, subscribe, comment. It's your boy D, and we out.